Andy from Captain Chuck's 2 live in the studio. How you doing, sir? And thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm doing well.
Oh, we got to turn on your mic. That's probably the first time. Okay, now say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. No, I'm doing well. Thanks.
You are somewhat busy there between transitioning from ice fishing that we had a few weeks of. We were talking with Todd, who filled in yesterday. He joined us on the morning show a little bit. And he said, hey, he was out fishing a little bit this year. You had that, but really it was getting people out on boats and even fishing from the riverbanks a little bit, right?
Yeah, the ice was tough this year. I mean, we didn't have much. Same with last year. Had, maybe 2 weeks of good ice. And some people went on some sketchy stuff or had to travel to go ice fishing. But, yeah, they're already back in the boats now, and ice is going away.
Are you reporting any ice at all out there?
Not anything safe.
Okay.
No, not anything safe. Not around here. Okay. You can still travel. You can go to the UP and find a little bit of good ice, but even their ice isn't is what it normally is. So it's probably a good measure that if anybody has their what's it called? A boat?
No, on the ice. They're
like their safety picks.
No, they're tents. They're shanties.
Shanties.
There you go. Thank you. That it would be a good idea to pull those at this point if it's still, because it's gonna be floating in the lake.
It's probably already floating if there was one out there.
I'm taking my boat
sank.
Right? It's like I gotta go take my boat to get my ice shanty.
That's why they make you put your name or your driver's license number on the shanty, on the what we call a permanent shanty.
Yeah,
really.
Because that way, if they go through, they can give you the ticket.
Absolutely,
that's true.
What's a ticket like that cost? What is that?
Honestly, I have no clue.
No, okay.
Yeah, I have no idea on what a ticket is on those.
It's probably enough to be like, hey, I'm never going to do this again.
It's probably pretty expensive because I'm sure they either have to pull it out of there or they'll make you go pull it out of there somehow with a boat or drag it out.
How was the ice fishing that we did have this year though? What was it like? There was some good catch?
Yeah, fishing was good.
Okay.
It was a lot of Pure Marquette Lake, a lot of perch fishing, and the people that went out did pretty well.
Okay. All right. There you go. Let's talk and transition a little bit to now that we see sunshine today, some blue skies. We've been fishing on the rivers, the streams, the lakes, the boats on the bank. Take us through what's happening out there. What's the environment like?
Yeah, people are doing a lot of fishing right now. A lot of boats are going out to Pure Marquette Lake because it's wide open. There's I don't think there's any ice left on that. So they're perch fishing now, just out of the boats.
Okay.
They're starting to fish in the rivers. So steelhead fishing right now, and then shortly coming up there'll be the sucker run, which a lot of people like to do.
And the colder water temps. I mean, that's where we want to be to get perch. Your steelhead are going to be running.
Right.
And
then as the water warms up is when you'll start seeing the suckers come through.
Okay. Janelle, any of those interest you at all? Do you fish a lot, or do you fish some, don't you?
Yeah, I fish in I would say summer, but it's more for pike or bass.
Okay.
I've never been salmon fishing or steelhead fishing or anything like that, but it would be worth the try.
All right. Well, Randy, let's break it down for Janelle, and how would she start? What would your suggestions be?
Super easy. So steelhead fishing you can get into pretty basic. You want at least like a 9-foot rod for the rivers, anywhere from 9 to 11 foot. Size 30, the reels are all by sizes. So like a 30 or 40 size reel. You just need line, and then it's actually pretty simple. You can use a float or bobber with a jig and a wax worm. You can use spawn bags, which we do sell pre-tied, so you don't have to worry about tying your own. Okay. And just float the river. You can fish them from bottom, so you can go down and just cast and just let it sit, or you can just do like what they call a drift or a float, where you throw your bobber out, let it float down through the holes, and then just reel it back in and do it again.
Okay.
Interesting. So it's kind of like salmon fishing.
Yeah, it's actually the same process, except for salmon you would normally be throwing skein, which is a bigger chunk. Yes. Versus spawn, but yeah, same concept.
Okay. Huh. And do you find that it is, I don't know if I want to use the word polarized, but do you find that You have different people that fish in the winter or early spring versus summer. Obviously, you have a lot of tourists that come up and so on and so forth. But is there kind of a favoritism on the time of the year or even the type of fish that they're fishing for?
Yeah, it's definitely different fishing summer, spring to summer to fall. So in the summertime, the steelhead basically leave the river. So they're in there to spawn, and then they like that cold water. So they actually leave the river, or there might be some floating around in there, native native fish. Same with the suckers. The suckers will come in to spawn in the spring when the water temperature's right, and then they mostly leave, except for the native ones that stay in the rivers. And then when you transition to summer, rivers usually aren't great fishing in the summer because the water gets so warm, and the fish that are in there aren't really a warm water species. So most people transition into going into lakes then and fishing, bluegills, bass, pike, things like that.
And Todd, who filled in yesterday, he just passed by and honked this morning. He was talking about ice fishing and getting out and fishing here soon. Randy, what about, you've been doing this for a long time. You've got an early, I think it feels like an early spring, right?
Feels like it, yeah.
No, we won't know until next week and the following week. Things change every week around here. But is this have you ever experienced this type of unseasonably changing weather where we have a very shortened ice fishing season? Now you're in boats, you're on the banks, you're fishing. Could that lead to a good spring and summer fishing, or is it a sign for maybe a red flag of some sort? Does that make sense a little bit?
It does, yeah. We look at it a couple different ways, like with the ice fishing or lack of ice fishing, obviously there's not near as many fish being taken. So we kind of look at it that way. It's going to help protect the fisheries because there's, certain times that in between ice and open water that nobody can fish. So we look at it kind of that way as maybe it's going to protect the fisheries a little bit and make the open water fishing a little bit better.
Right. Okay. Almost like springtime fishing would be better.
Right. Yeah.
Since there's going to probably be so much.
And they're actually doing really well perch fishing right now. So.
Okay. And when we talk about perch fishing, is it the quantity or the size, or is it a little bit of both? What does that break down for us?
It's a little bit of both. Okay. Yeah. The guys are getting limits out there, which is 25 per person per day. So some people are getting limits, some people are getting, less than the limit, but most people that I've talked to are getting anywhere from 15 to 25 fish, that are nice keeper fish. Yeah.
All right. It's been a long time since I said this to you or asked this question, but Randy?
Yes, we fry them in butter.
That's right.
I knew where you were going with that.
That's right. How do you prep them? Go through it.
Yep. Yeah, so perch actually can be done, several different ways.
Yeah.
Some people like to tumble them. They'll have big tumblers because the scales are kind of hard to get off of perch. And with them not being a very big fish, a lot of times if you skin them, you're losing a little bit of meat. So people will tumble them. And it takes all the scales off, and then they just flay them and take the ribs out and fry them they'll deep fry them with the skin right on them.
There you go.
Really?
So yeah,
interesting.
Actually, I like fish with skin on better. To me, it's just got more flavor.
Yeah.
Oh,
but sometimes I'm too lazy to do it, so I'll just flay them out.
There you go.
Take the skin off.
And butter. Lots of butter.
Butter, yeah.
Not margarine.
Is it?
No, not margarine. Real butter.
No. Okay. And then when is it till the end of this month? We are good with our fishing licenses. Do you know? Or is it...
Yeah. So end of March. So April 1 would be the new licenses. They give you a 1 month window. So at the end of February or first day of March, you can actually start getting your license for next year.
Okay.
Yeah. They give you a 1 month leeway in there.
Okay.
Very cool. All right. Normally at this time of the hour, we would do our recommended event and happening here in the area. And I think we have one that's related to Captain Chuck's. So let me push the play button on this, if you don't mind. And then we'll transition here for just a second.
Starting your week off with a local gem. Here's our top recommendation for the must-do event in our area this week, right here on The Morning Zoo.
Okay, Janelle, you know about the event that's coming up. Randy knows a lot about it as well, but let's break it down. Janelle, what do you got?
Okay, salmon seminar.
Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Salmon school, yep.
And that's going to be Saturday,
Okay.
and I'm not sure on the time.
All right, Randy, this is where you jump
Starts
in.
at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And take us through more of it.
So what it is it's Captain Dan Keating comes and basically teaches you little ins and outs on salmon fishing from the boats. He does a lot of really cool stuff for guys like me that don't fish a lot on the big lake. He does some stuff with like how to set up your boat, especially the small boats. He'll teach you how to set them up. He'll teach you what speeds to run. He'll teach you what lures to run on certain, brightness of days. Things like that some people might not understand or know. And then the next day, the second day on Sunday, it gets a little bit more technical. I'm not sure the exacts, but I know he starts talking about electronics and speed control and currents and things like that in the lake. So the second day is definitely a little bit more in depth, where the first day is a little bit more of the kind of the basics.
Okay. And it's this Saturday.
Yep, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, Saturday. And take us through cost, times. Can you still register? Obviously, there probably is, if there's some spots available.
Yep, there's still spots available. You can register, I think, through Friday.
Okay.
I know we posted it last time. I think it's CaptainDanKeating.com, I think.
All right. Well, we'll put the link on our Facebook page.
Perfect.
Yep, we'll do that.
Perfect. And it's, I believe it's $75 a day. I'm not 100% on that.
Okay.
Starts at 8 o'clock both mornings. They do provide lunch, and they take a couple breaks where if you want to shop or anything like that, you can. Or just get up and stretch your legs and talk. And,
All right.
I think it runs till about 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Okay. Looking forward to it this weekend, right there at Captain Chuck's 2 at the corner of Jabavi and US 10.
And there you have it, our top suggestion for making the most of this week in our area. Keep tuning into the Morning Zoo for more local highlights and happenings.
All right. Thanks, Randy. Now, normally Janelle does that recommended event, but we had you pitch hitting for us, so
Perfect.
we
I
appreciate
appreciate
that. And if somebody wants to get a hold of anybody at Captain Chuck's 2, there's multiple ways. Obviously, they can stop in, they can call.
Right.
The website, take us through all of that.
Yeah, so they can call us at 231-843-4458. Answer any questions that we can help with. They can email us, and we don't do much with email, so probably not the best way. Phone is the best.
Yeah. Because you get, I would assume that many times when people call or stop in, one question leads to another, to another, to
Right.
another, and you've got all the answers there, which
We
is
had
great.
a gentleman that we've dealt with for the last 2 or 3 days that we've spent multiple hours on the phone with. So I know he appreciated it, and we appreciated it. He put in a big order, and
It's pretty awesome.
So he was happy with the help we gave him. So
All right.
we'll take time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my final question before we let you go is, as others, we look at the wall and people are listening throughout the country and even the world. If they're coming into the Ludington area, that we want them to stop by Captain Chuck's too. Obviously we have unseasonably warm temps, but are there anything that we can kind of preview for this year's spring and summer fishing season that you might have heard about, and or something that's going to be very popular this year that you're already finding out, and you're putting that order in so that you have it on the shelves there?
Not as far as baits wise, but we still going to have the Ludington Offshore Classic, which is a huge one. There's another salmon. I'm not even sure what they're calling it. It's not something we're running, but we are helping with some of the weigh-ins and things like that for it.
Yeah.
And then we are going to have our Big King Bonanza again this year, which we had last year, which is a derby style. The other one is also a derby style. I'm just not sure what it's called.
Okay. No, that's right.
But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on as far as that is concerned. But as far as like new baits and products, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's jumping out there.
All right. But still stopping in, checking things out. The bulletin board at Captain Chuck's too, that's a popular thing in regards to those tournaments and finding out more information.
Yeah, and we've got the Big Fish of the Month, that we do. That's free. So anything as far as panfish, pike, and then brown trout, steelhead, king salmon, and lake trout.
Okay.
If you get a big one and you want to come in and weigh it, it's free of charge. And if you win it for the month, you get a $10 gift card to the store.
That's pretty
And
cool.
if it holds for the year, then you get another $20 gift card at the end of the year.
Isn't that pretty awesome?
Yeah,
That
it's kind
is
of something
awesome.
cool, you know?
Yep.
And I love how Captain Chuck's is really like an all-in-one place. Like, I mean, you can't fish there, but they have bait from worms to minnows to suckers even. And you can get your what would you call it, lures and stuff like that there, your rods, reels, and you can even take your fish there and have it weighed, measured. Even with the deer, you guys do that. So I
Yep,
just
we
think it's
do.
all-
And we do spooling. You know, if you need your reels
Yep.
spooled, we do spooling. We have a rod repair guy, Max Rods. So you can drop your rods off if they're broken, and he can fix them, and then he brings them back. You know, and then we do all the archery stuff too. So
All right. Lots of things happening there at Captain Chuck's 2, corner of Jabavi and US 10. Randy, as always, and we got lots of honks and waves and all that good stuff this morning. As always, we appreciate you taking the time over the last few years coming in and hanging out with us, and as well this morning too, as well.
yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it. It is 8:44 now, 16 before the top of the hour on 102.7 Mom FM and Hot Country